So that's the story about Biden. That takes us into standards and whether or not the standards are legit or whether we see power overreach, the two-tiered justice system that Trump folk love to talk about, the irony, everything I just told you about, that's where your two-tiered system is. Poor, mostly minority people being prosecuted for things that they wouldn't be if they didn't look like that. But they're now saying Trump is getting too much attention. Tell it to New York City's mayor, Eric Adams. Last week, the feds come up to an event that he's at and say, we want your phones and your iPad. You talk about a ballsy move against an elected official. So, what would warrant it? If they have proof that he is part of a criminal scheme to take money from foreign sources, not supposed to do that, through straw donors, and then giving illegal preferences to the same people who hid the fact that they gave you money. Democratic primary, Eric Adams texted New York City's fire chief to fast-track the opening of the Turkish New York consul building that Turkey's President Erdogan very much wanted, even though it had been riddled with fire hazards. Was this done because a company owned by Turkish immigrants donated tens of thousands of dollars to Adams' campaign, perhaps through an illegal straw donor scheme? What is illegal? What is the standard of proof? And what do they have on Adams? Those are the questions. Former FBI special agent for New York's white-collar squad, this is what he did. Now, white-collar criminal defense attorney Stuart Kaplan joins us. Counselor, thank you.
My pleasure. Good afternoon. Good evening, Chris.
So, brother, first, the smell test. Do you think Adams is in trouble?
I think Adams is in trouble. I've worked out of that New York field office. I can tell you they have an assistant director in charge at the top there. Heads would roll if they don't cross their T's or dot their I's. This is not for the faint of heart to undertake a public corruption case against an elected official. Certainly the New York field office going after a sitting New York City mayor. They have to have more than reasonable suspicion. They have to have probable cause that has been verified, that's credible, and also that has been corroborated. Chris, keep in mind, one of the most intrusive techniques is the execution of a search warrant. That is a very damning, proof that there's something maybe there.
However, two things. One, for the uninitiated at home, counsel's right, but you find a judge, an officer can be their own affiant. The officer can go to the judge and say, I believe we have the proof. They don't have to bring in the witnesses. They don't have to bring in the proof. So if you get the right judge, you can get the search warrant. Now, against a public official, you do have to be careful. Trump voters are rolling their eyes and saying, did this guy just say the New York field office of the FBI goes above and beyond? Look at what they're doing to Trump. What do you believe the reality is?
The reality is, Chris, that this investigation not only is being run out of the New York field office, it is being overseen by the Department of Justice through the Washington headquarters. This case, given the gravity, if God forbid there would be a mistake made that would impact not only the prosecutor's future, but also potentially agents that are on, working this case, at the highest level of the FBI, as well as the United States Attorney's Office, there is strict oversight in place, daily reports going back and forth up to DC to make sure, again, the T's are being crossed and the I's are being dotted.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.